There is a feeling, a quiet and persistent sense of inertia that you know intimately. It is the feeling of being stuck. It is the career you no longer love but cannot leave. The creative project you dream of but never begin. The relationship that has run its course, but that you continue to inhabit like a ghost in a familiar house. It is the sense of watching your own life from a great distance, as if you are a spectator behind a thick pane of glass. You see the world moving, you see others living, laughing and striving, but your own life feels like a paused film. The days bleed into one another, each one a pale copy of the last, and a quiet, desperate question begins to echo in the silence. Is this all there is? You look at the circumstances of your life, your job, your finances, your obligations, and you build a case for your own imprisonment. You tell yourself, I am stuck because of my situation. You believe the problem is out there in the world. The walls are real, the cage is locked, and you are a victim of a life that has stalled. But what if the cage is not in your life? What if the cage is in your mind? What if the bars are not made of steel, but of your own repeating thoughts? What if the lock is not on the door, but on your own perception? This exploration is a journey to the heart of this feeling of being stuck. You will discover that your life is not a fixed, solid reality, but a story that you are telling yourself over and over again. You will learn that the frantic activity in your head is the very source of your paralysis, and you will be given the key to your own cage, a key that does not unlock the world, but unlocks your own mind from its self-imposed prison. To understand why you are stuck, you must first understand the nature of your own mind. The conscious part of your mind, your ego, has a primary function: to think. It is a magnificent tool. It analyzes, it plans, it judges, it remembers, and it predicts. Its job is to create a coherent story, a map of reality, so that you can navigate the world safely. But in the world you live in, this tool has become a tyrant. It never stops. It has become overdeveloped, like a muscle that has grown so large it has paralyzed the rest of the body. You have ceased to be the master of this tool. You have become its servant. Think of your mind as a master map maker. For years, he has been drawing a map of your life, labeling every road, every town, every obstacle. This map is useful, but the map maker has become so obsessed with his own creation that he has made a profound mistake. He has forgotten that the map is not the territory. He has come to believe that his drawing is the world. So he spends all of his time in a small, dusty room, endlessly redrawing the same lines, measuring the same distances, adding more and more labels, convinced that the work of living is the work of perfecting the map. He has completely forgotten about the vast, real, sunlit world that exists just outside his window. You are not stuck in the territory of your life. You are stuck in the map maker's room. You are stuck in your head. This prison of the mind has two primary walls, the past and the future. The experience of being stuck is the experience of being mentally trapped between these two illusions, never truly touching the only reality that exists, the present moment. The first wall is the endless loop of rumination about the past. Your mind replays old conversations, old mistakes, old hurts. It is a tireless detective, constantly re-examining the evidence of a case that has been closed for years. Your thinking mind is like a hamster on a wheel. It is running furiously. It is expending an immense amount of energy, analyzing what went wrong, what you should have said, what you should have done. From the hamster's perspective, it is making a great effort. It is working hard on the problem. But if you step back, you see the truth. The wheel is spinning, but the cage has not moved an inch. The frantic activity in your head gives you the illusion of progress, but it is the very thing that keeps you paralyzed, locked in the same spot. The second wall of the prison is the anxious rehearsal of the future. The mind creates 1,000 possible scenarios, most of them negative. It runs simulations of every potential failure, every possible judgment, every imagined catastrophe. It tells you, don't start that project because you might fail. Don't leave that relationship because you might end up alone. Don't speak your truth because you might be rejected. Your mind has become a movie projector, and it is playing a constant double feature. First, it plays a tragedy based on your past. Then it plays a horror movie based on your imagined future. You have become so absorbed in this double feature that you have forgotten that you are sitting in a dark theater of your own making. You have forgotten that the screen of the present moment is, in reality, completely blank, a vast, silent space full of infinite potential. But you cannot see this potential because the projector of your own mind is always running. This mental imprisonment has a profound effect on your body. Your body is an animal. It can only live in the present. While your mind is lost in the ghosts of yesterday and the phantoms of tomorrow, your body is sitting right here now, and it feels the discord. This manifests as a knot of tension in your shoulders, a tightness in your chest, a shallow breath that never quite fills your lungs. It is the feeling of being disconnected from your own physical self. You have become like a masterful musician who can read the most complex sheet music but has forgotten how to feel the vibration of the strings. You can analyze the notes, understand the theory, but you can no longer hear the music. Your body is the instrument and life is the music, but you are so busy in your head reading the sheet music of your thoughts that you have forgotten the simple animal pleasure of just playing. This overthinking doesn't just prevent action. It destroys the very impulse to act. Think of a centipede walking along perfectly with its 100 legs moving in a beautiful unconscious rhythm. A curious fox comes along and asks, "How do you do that? How do you decide which leg to move after which?" The centipede stops. For the first time it thinks about its legs, and in that moment of thought it is completely paralyzed. It can no longer walk. It has become stuck in its own head. Your natural intuitive will to act is like the centipede's walk. The moment your thinking mind tries to take control of it, to analyze and perfect it, it becomes paralyzed. So what is the escape? The answer is both simple and the most difficult work you will ever do. The way out of the prison of the mind is not to think harder. It is not to find a better thought or a more positive story. The way out is to stop thinking. The escape is a journey of descent. It is the journey out of the head and into the body, out of the map and into the territory, out of the story and into reality. It is like you have been living in a noisy, chaotic, windowless room at the very top of a tall tower. For years you have been trying to organize the noise. You have been arguing with the voices, rearranging the furniture, trying to create a sense of peace within the chaos. The solution is not to organize the noise. The solution is to realize that there is a spiral staircase in the corner of the room that you had never noticed before. The escape is to simply quietly walk down that staircase out of the tower and into the vast, silent, open field that has been waiting for you all along. This journey of descent is a practical art. It is built upon simple conscious acts of return. The first step is to find the anchor of your senses. Your thinking mind can travel through time, but your senses cannot. They are a doorway always open to the present moment. The work is to consciously walk through that doorway as many times a day as you can. It is the feeling of your feet on the floor right now, the simple raw sensation of the air on your skin, the sound of the room around you without a label or a judgment, the taste of your coffee without the story of what it means. Each time you do this, you are stepping out of the mapmaker's dusty room and into the real world. The second step is to learn to observe the thinker. You must realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that is aware of your thoughts. You are not the clouds. You are the vast open sky in which the clouds pass. For years you have believed you were a single dark storm cloud, and you have been tossed and turned by your own weather. The work is to shift your identity from the cloud to the sky. You watch the thought of anxiety, the thought of sadness, the thought of self-doubt as they drift by, knowing that they are not you. They are just temporary weather patterns, and you are the calm, unchanging sky that holds them all. The third step is the most courageous. It is the practice of not knowing. Your ego wants to have a story for everything. It wants a plan, a label, a predictable outcome. The addiction to thinking is an addiction to certainty. The cure is to allow yourself, even for a few moments, to simply not know, to exist in the open space of the present without a narrative. It is the act of the trapeze artist. To get from one platform to the next, They must, for a terrifying moment, let go of the bar they are holding and fly through the empty space, trusting that the next bar will be there to meet them. That empty space is not knowing. Your mind wants to cling to the old bar of your old story, terrified of the void. The work is to have the courage to let go and to trust the flight. When you begin this journey of descent, a profound silence begins to grow in your life. The constant, frantic chatter of the hamster on the wheel begins to slow down. At first, this silence can be terrifying. It is the emptiness that the ego has been running from its entire life. But if you have the courage to stay with it, you discover something miraculous. The silence is not empty, it is full. It is full of a deeper, quieter intelligence. It is the voice of the self, the wise old navigator who was drowned out by the noise in the tower. This is the birth of intuition, and it is from this place of quiet presence that a new kind of action becomes possible. The feeling of being stuck is the result of frantic, fear-based thinking, which leads to paralysis. But when you act from a place of quiet being, your actions become effortless, intuitive, and surprisingly effective. It is the difference between a panicked swimmer flailing and thrashing in the water, expending all their energy and getting nowhere, and a skilled swimmer who can swim calmly and efficiently, expending little energy and getting far. Surfer who quietly sits on their board feeling the rhythm of the ocean. The surfer is not fighting the water, they are listening to it. They wait with patient presence for the right wave, and when it comes they do not generate the power themselves. They simply stand up and they align themselves with a power that is infinitely greater than their own, and they ride it effortlessly to the shore. When you get out of your own head, you get out of your own way, you stop thrashing against the current of life, you learn to listen, to wait, to feel the rhythm of the present moment, and you discover that life was never stuck. The world was not a prison, you were living in the prison of your own mind. By returning to the quiet, open field of the present moment, you allow the natural, intelligent flow of life to move through you once again. You stop trying to control the river, you become the river, and you realize with a profound sense of relief that it has been flowing all along.